can freelancing feel isolating? Yes. I don't really know any other realm of work apart from freelancing, but I know just compared to like school and my like first like little summer job, and even working on longer projects. Last year I managed to work on a film project, a small film project that was, it was 2 weeks of just the same crew every day. And it's so nice to have that, crew camaraderie, or, what do you call it, like office banter, whatever you want to call it. It's nice to come in every day, even if it's really hard shifts. Just that in-person connection, that familiarity, those relationships, it does make it very easy. Even when I've had friends working with me in the studio, it helps just to be able to talk to someone, bounce an idea off someone, just a human presence, human connection. It's very, very important. So I'd say definitely try and find a community of people if you're going freelance, whether it's going to a shared desk space or someone you want to have regular meetings with, just talk shop. Having a community when going freelance is definitely not essential, but it is good for your mental health, I think. Diversifying your income streams as a freelancer. I would say I've done this just kind of by accident. Getting into this, I would do anything and everything, and I still continue to do a bit of anything and everything. Last year, I think my bills were mainly paid by photography, big chunk by photography. Then there was a little bit studio rental, paid a little bit, kit rental, paid a little bit, video work, paid quite a bit. Last year was a good year for video work. And then acting, that came up, bit of acting work, that paid quite a lot of bills. And then the social media stuff, there was a considerable chunk of money with the social media stuff as well last year. So if I was only just trying to stick to photography and being very bullish with my photography, potentially I would have got a few more test shoots in. Who knows where that would have led. But I think I probably would have been a bit more stressed last year if I was just niched down, hyper-focused into one of those areas. And it's a good thing, I feel, that I have spread out and done a lot more things. And I think it's good when you're getting into it, not only just to cover all bases financially, but also to mix things up, see more of like the potential that's out there, so that you don't get like boxed into one thing and then realize a few years later, like, actually I didn't really try video, or I didn't really try like gaffing or lighting, or all these areas of freelancing. If you're open to more things will come to you. Odds are you will find the best thing for you. So don't be too hyper-focused on like you want to be this if you're jumping into it right away. So it comes with a lot of stress, freelancing. There is a lot of stress. I have kind of gotten used to it. It's a bit like when you break a bone and it hurts a lot for a month or so, and then the pain just sort of goes away. Your body just kind of gives up, and it's just like, okay, I'm in pain. I'm going to stop sending the pain signal because it's obviously not getting any better. I would describe freelancing like that. It's very stressful, but if you do it long enough, you kind of just don't feel the stress anymore. It's like, it's not just that it just goes away. The confidence builds up. When you've gone through enough 2-week periods where no one emails you, no one picks up the phone to call you for a job, and you sat there being like, oh God, it's been 2 weeks, I haven't done a job, there's no money coming in, everyth's over, my whole life is over. And then finally, 2 weeks later, someone picks up the phone and goes, hey, want to come do this thing? We've only got £2,000, is that okay? And you're like, oh yeah, that's fine, thank you for calling. When that happens enough times, for me now it's been 7 years, you eventually get the confidence to be like, okay, 2 weeks, nothing's happened the last 2 weeks, but I know the phone's gonna ring. The phone always rings. Or you go out and you call someone and you make the phone ring. You make them call you back. You go and do something. The stress of it does go away. It does get better. It does get easier. But it is just, you just have to keep showing up and working consistently. I think if you were to take like a little 6-month break and go back to doing a regular job but try and keep your toe in, that could screw up your whole thing. I mean, maybe. I think as long as you're consistent, the phone will keep ringing, but you have to jump in and be consistent and make that leap to being freelance. there was a point 2 years ago I was doing like a corporate video for like a finance client, and I was talking to someone there about some books I'd read about sales and sort of like the sales training and all that stuff, and I found it quite interesting. I'm like, well, would you be interested in being part of what we do here? At that point, I hadn't really hit my stride with the photography. I hadn't really hit any like well-paid jobs yet. I was getting consistent work, lots of little consistent jobs here and there, but nothing that was like, well, now one job could pay me what 5 or 6 jobs would pay me back then. I hadn't hit any of those jobs yet. I hadn't hit any of those jobs that kind of like one day would just chill me out financially for a few weeks. So when they just put this offer for like a consistent, well-paying job in my nose, I was like, oh, God, that'll be good. But the more I sat down and considered it, the more I looked at what I was actually losing in terms of my time. Waking up at 5 to go get the transport down to the office and then be there from like sort of 7 or 8 in the morning till 5 or 6 at night, and then go and do sort of homework and bits in the evening for months. Like when I look at a full-time paying job, like I'll go on LinkedIn, look for like freelance photography work every now and then, and there'll be jobs that'll pop up and it'll be like full-time photographer at ASOS, and I'll be like, let's have a little look, let's just click, just have a little look, and it's just like, oh yeah, no, I could do that, yeah, easy, and then you look at the pay and you're like, it's not that well paid. Like for 10 jobs, for like 10 good paid jobs, which is like what, like 15 days, 20 days work in the year, would pay me the same as what they want you to like commit your whole year to, and they give you 28 days off. Fuck that. Like, fuck that. Like, when I always get to that on the sign up thing when I'm like, yeah, this looks good, money, and then it's like 28 days off. Like, fuck that. It's bloody Thursday right now. I've almost had like a whole month off. Got my first job tomorrow. The freedom that comes with freelancing is crazy. Like, it's hard to explain to people like the freedom you have. It comes with its stress, obviously, but when you start looking at it in terms of how much freedom you actually have, it's fucking great. Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, you can be on whatever time schedule you want. At the beginning, yes, I would just sort of stay up late and do loads of work until God knows what time. Now, I am appreciating the whole, bit of a routine, try not to work too much after 5, 6, 7, like, kind of turn off the computer at that time and go do something else. But yeah, if you want to work from like the moment you wake up till like 12 o'clock at night, you can. If you want to like go and see a family member, like because they're it's their birthday or they're feeling under the weather, you can. Like, you can do whatever you want. It comes with so many great things, and I'm sure if someone is working full-time right now, those are the things they are fixating on. But also do remember that it comes with a lot of stress and the uncertainty. That is the sacrifice you're making. When I look at those ASOS jobs and stuff, it's, because I have that, last January was very quiet for me, and I was having a look at like these full-time jobs on LinkedIn, being like, oh God, just to kill that anxiety I have right now. I could do it. I could sign up and just like sit in a studio and take pictures for someone all day, and just like, have a team, go in, say hi to the team, and all that stuff, and be nice. I'm sure I'd have a great time, but it hasn't, for me, I haven't wanted to sacrifice the freedom I have, to be able to do the test shoots that I do, fly to Amsterdam, do a test shoot, come back home, do a painting, all these freedoms that it allows me, that are things that I enjoy, but also distract me from the stress of not working. What surprised you most when you first started freelancing? I'm always surprised. Everything, every new job brings its own surprises. I remember the feel. I was on a call today, and I was remembering the feeling early on, where if I was on this call, I would be very like wowed by everything that's going on, and I would feel slightly uncomfortable. I feel like sometimes with freelance jobs, when you're going to a place with a big new team, I would describe that feeling early on as the same feeling of going to a new friend's house when you're a kid. And it's like, do I take my shoes off? Like, am I okay to, do I call your mum this? Or do I call, it's like, what do I, that feeling is how I felt when I would like do my first like freelancing jobs, and there's a whole big team, and it's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Hello, what are we doing? Where are we going? And the more I've done, the more it's like, I feel like when I walk onto a job now, I'm walking into my own house. I'm there, it's my house. I can, have input and do what I want. And obviously that's because I'm in a different position now, where I'm a bit more like people are wanting my insight and, my work. So obviously it is my house. But yeah, that's how I describe that feeling. But I'm always surprised. There's always something. I know there's always going to be a surprise again and again and again. In my head, I anticipate working in America, that will be a lot of surprises. I'm sure it'll be full of contracts and high energy. Working with an agent, that would be a new experience for me. I look forward to that. Somebody fucking sign me already. I'm tired of doing this all by myself. How have I got an acting agent before I got a photo agent? For God's sake. Come on, people. See the value in me. What's one thing you wish you'd known before going full-time as a freelancer? I, at the start, was trying to be an agency and be a creative at the same time. And I didn't really understand that the two were different. I didn't understand anything. But I remember at one point I was on the phone to my dad and he said, you need to make a decision. And the decision is you either going to be an agency and you're going to run creatives, you're going to hire creatives, manage projects and do all this kind of stuff, or do you want to be the creative who gets hired, gets to be creative, gets to make things? And honestly, at the time, I was like, oh, I want to be the agency person. They seem to have all the power and the money and blah, blah, blah. They walk around in Hackney coats and have lots of money and buy houses and stuff. Like, that's the person I want to be, obviously. But the more I did that, the more miserable it made me. I'm not very good at managing people, honestly. It's not I can do it, but it's probably the thing that causes me the most stress. Being creative, coming up with the ideas, executing the ideas, easy. That's the stuff that I can't believe I get paid for. And it's the stuff that, I realize now that some people can't do. There are people who are really good producers and they love being a producer. I was chatting to someone the other day and they're like, yeah, I just love it. Love the challenge, love the this, love that. I'm just like, there is nothing I would hate more than to do like all of the admin work on a creative job. So that's, at that point, I made the decision to be the creative and do the creative stuff and make the stuff happen. And now obviously it's terrifying to think like AI could take over that whole job. I try not to worry about it too much. I kind of view it as in the same way that people collect vinyl, people will want to work with photographers in that same realm. It'll be like, yeah, man, we did like a real photo shoot, like in a studio with lights. Yeah, we'll be like the people who like won't shut up about vinyl. It's like, oh, it's just different, man. Just the sound. It'd be like, the photos it's just different. If you're there, if you experienced the photo shoot, it's just like, it's just real and organic. I kind of feel like that's probably where I'm heading in the future, is to be an organic, real photographer who like uses his hands and takes pictures with like a camera and stuff, What's a financial mistake you made early on in your career? Getting scammed. That was a big one. I would definitely recommend selling cameras through MPB and not Marketplace. I've had like a fake, they managed to like fake a check once. Someone paid me in fake cash another time. I'm very wary on like Facebook Marketplace now of people, like very wary. But yeah, like a big financial like investment that wasn't a good idea. I was working with someone who they really wanted to get like Soho House memberships together. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. They convinced me to do it, and I was like, I'm sure, it takes months to apply, blah, blah, blah. I'll save up in a few months. They managed to push it through in a week, because this was at that time where they were just taking anyone and everyone. That was probably the biggest waste of money I've ever spent, ever. Because I still had this space. I still had my studio space. And I feel like the whole point of Soho House is, in the UK anyway, it's not a social place. Like, no one goes there to meet other people. They go there to have their meetings there. They go there to sit down and have a coffee and work at their laptop there. They go there because it's a load of creatives who live in small apartments in London, and that's their nice place to go. It's their second place away from home. Whereas my studio place kind of already acts as that. So for me, it was kind of a waste of money. Although the gym is very lovely, sauna's very lovely, I do miss it. But it's just not worth the amount of money that I spent on that. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned when working with clients? Someone said to me a long time ago, if it's good enough for the client, it's good enough for you. And my initial reaction to that is, well, I want to go above and beyond, and I want to be the best. And I think that's important. Yeah, definitely try and do your best. Always try and do your best. But I think the point of that quote, if it's good enough for the client, it's good enough for you, is don't be stressed if when it's done, they're happy, but you're not happy. Don't be stressed about that. Let that go. Like, as long as they are happy, good. But as creatives, we can be a bit hung up on, oh, well, I want to do it like amazing, like this, and like this thing I saw. And you need to sort of like let go of that sometimes and accept when things are good enough and move on to the next thing and accept that that's done and just move on. Learn your lesson from that. Go and make the next one even better. But if the client is happy, they're happy with the product, they're happy with you, you should be happy with you. And you should be able to let go and sort of move past that. And I don't really have any advice on how to do that other than do it a lot until like the stress of it not being good enough for you becomes so tiring that you just decide to stop. That's the only way it worked for me. It was just like I used to get very stressed until I realized I didn't need to be stressed. And I was like, oh, that was exhausting being so stressed. Let's move on to the next thing. Have you ever felt burnout as a freelancer? How did you recover? Whenever I put myself into, because it usually goes like this, you'll have quiet months and busy months. And quiet months could be like this month, I've got one paid job this month. But say November time, or was it August time, every single day I had a shoot. I was shooting 2 films, like one indie film and one like a little web series film. And I had like 2 free days that month. And on those 2 free days, I got booked for 2 commercial jobs. So I've never been that busy in my life. And that was like waking up at 5 a.m. and shooting some days, like running overtime and then going when everyone else would like be having a break from their overtime and going and having a weekend. I was going and shooting a commercial and I'd have to like prep, and whilst I'm on set for the other things and I have a free second, plan the other stuff. So you'll have months like that. And you've got to like in the months like this month, when it's very chilled, you need to enjoy that it's chilled. You need to do all the things that you're going to wish you could be doing when you're having a busy month. I think another thing with the busy months like that is if you are back-to-back booked, and like you're wrapping a project, there will be this pressure to like go out and drink with everyone. Don't do that because you will get sick. Because everyone else is going to have a big wrap drinks and then they're going to go and, have a chill next morning and chill out and have a rest. Whereas you are getting up and doing another shoot, maybe don't go out and drink that time. Still celebrate, still say have a good time, but, make sure you get your rest in. That was what saved me during that month was not celebrating every single win and just sort of like keeping focused and getting on to the next project and making sure I didn't get sick. Making sure you don't get sick is probably like the most important part of like dealing with a busy month. What do I love most about freelancing despite all of these challenges? Okay, this story is a funny one. I was with a friend and they had just had 2 huge successes in their career, like absolutely massive successes. And this was like 2 days after that, we kind of all, had our little celebratory moment. And we were out having like a coffee on a Wednesday, like mid-morning or something. And I could see that they were a bit upset. And I was like, why are you upset? What's going on? What's happened? And they were like, just feel like nothing's happening now. Like just had all these 2 big things happen. Now it's just back to, nothing's going on. It's back to a quiet period. And I was like, you got to realize it's Wednesday, like middle of the day. And we're just out having coffee, just having a chat, having a chill. And that is something we have got to be grateful for. It's such a privilege for us. Yeah, we're not busy having another big win, but we just had those 2 big wins. And this is the beautiful thing about being freelance. is everyone else is, you know, out at work right now. It's Wednesday, it's work day. They've been up since 6 or 7, you know, slaving away. We're just out meeting for coffee, having a nice time and a chill. So being grateful for those moments is definitely something that helps me as a freelancer. Hope this was helpful. I have been looking and people like writing comments and stuff. If you do have any more questions, please just, you know, write them down, or any topics for videos. If you want to see like a topic, because I'm running out of what I think is useful information. I think I've given quite a lot of what I would say is in my outlook. But if you have any more questions, just like shoot them down below. I've had a few people ask me to like jump on a call or, you know, just run them through specific questions, but honestly I'd rather just make videos like this so that everyone can access this information, and saves me a bit of time rather than getting on the phone on the regular. So yeah, drop those questions and like and subscribe.